Alright, it's been a while since I've done this. Hello everyone, Z, coach of the Amity Area Aces, and here with the new league. I see your teams here. I'm a replacement coach, currently 0-2, but I can turn that around with some good play, good matches. Hopefully we can start getting one here. So the team on the left, it's me. Mew, Tyranitar, Raikou, Cinderace, Appleton, Hitmonlee, Garbodor, Celesteela, Seismitoad, Cryogonal, and Comfey. And my opponent this week has Mamoswine, Frostmoth, Cloyster, Gothagrigus, Galarian, Articuno, Vikavolt, Walrein, Archeops, Crobat, Scrafty, and Ludicolo. So Mamoswine, Vikavolt, very good wall breakers. Archeops is also a very good wall breaker. Can deal a bunch of damage. Frostmoth, Cloyster, Walrein, Ice types Frostmoth and Cloyster get set up and Quiver Dance and Shell Smash. Gothagrigus can also set up with stuff like Nasty Plot, can set Trick Room. It can also do stuff like Body Press, Iron Defense. Articuno, Galar, also very good to set up. I believe it gets Agility. I know it gets Calm Mind. Stuff like that. You can also spam U-Turn alongside Crobat. You can run physical, can run special if Nasty Plot. It can be defensive with like Defog Roost and stuff. Scrafty also can be offensive or it can be bulky. It gets Moxie, it gets Intimidate, it gets Shed Skin, all fantastic abilities. Ludicolo is a bit of an offbeat pick for them, but I guess it can set Manual Rain. Decent Swift Swim user. Also functions as a grass type for their team. It's cool. So that's the basic rundown of their team. Let's get into the team that I'm bringing to the match. Alright, so here, the first Pokemon I'm bringing is Celesteela. So the benefit of them having a bunch of like ice types and stuff like that, not a lot of their team can actually break through Celesteela. Even like the non-ice types like Crobat, Acelgor, even Gothagrigus to an extent, have a very, very hard time. Scrafty also has a very hard time breaking through Celesteela. And with Leech Seed Protect, it's just going to be like even harder because I'm just going to be constantly regaining HP, and there's basically nothing I can do because I'm just protecting and hitting all other things. Something that I'm very scared about, just for the team in general, is Vikavolt. Flamethrower helps if I can catch a Vikavolt on the switch. And if they aren't running any speed, that I do naturally outspeed Vikavolt. But I'm going to have to, check for that. Flash Cannon, also good to hit Mamoswine, I guess just to hit other stuff, I guess Archeops, Crobat. Decent stab move. I'm just running max physical defense because the main things I'm worried about, stuff like Mamoswine, stuff like Cloyster, Archeops, Scrafty, all physical attackers. I think physically defensive Celesteela is much better than specially defensive Celesteela, just for the specific matchup. And I still wall stuff like Articuno decently well, or at least enough to where I can check it and put it in check with stuff like Tyranitar instead. The next Pokemon I have, Comfey, good as a Scrafty answer. I initially had Calm Mind over Taunt, but I figured that it would be good to run Taunt just so I don't die to like specific setup Pokemon, stuff like Frostmoth, stuff like Body Press, Iron Defense, Gothagrigus, or maybe like Substitute Mons. Draining Kiss, good stab, good thing for Scrafty. Giga Drain is nice. Priority from Triage is very good at stopping stuff like a Shell Smash Sweep from Cloyster, because I can just attack beforehand with the +3 priority Triage. And then Synthesis is just a good healing move, again, +2 priority because of Triage. Raikou, I think, with Substitute and Calm Mind, can honestly just beat the whole team, other than like maybe Frostmoth. Nothing wants to take either a Scald, like the Mamoswine, or a Thunderbolt, like pretty much everything else. Cloyster, Galarian Articuno, like Crobat, Archeops. They have a lot of electric weaknesses. I think that's very good, and I think it's going to be relatively easy in some cases if I can position it right, just to get the substitute off to start Calm Minding, and then I'll basically just be unbreakable, honestly. Like, there's not a lot you can do if I'm just, like, dishing out a bunch of damage with Raikou. And it's also just a bulky pivot, good electric type. To counter the flying types they have. Overall, just a good bring overall. To help deal with some of those ice type moves, mostly from Frostmoth. I also, I guess, decent for Vikavolt as well. Cinderace, I'm bringing Pyro Ball just for stab, High Jump Kick covered. They have a bunch of ice types. There's Scrafty, fighting weaknesses. Court Change if they decide to set Stealth Rocks, or if they decide to set Sticky Web with Vikavolt. That's my removal. I'm just shifting over to them. I'm not running Stealth Rocks on my team, so if I can shift over Stealth Rocks onto their team, that would help me chip down their Mons, making it so that Celesteela can handle them easier, so they can break them with Cinderace or Raikou, or some of the other Mons, Tyranitar or Celesteela, like I said before, Comfey. Just basically everything. All easier if I can just chip them with Stealth Rocks. And then U-turn is just good for momentum. I can force switches, I think, sometimes pretty easily. If they have like Mamoswine or Frostmoth out, I can force them out and then just hopefully get momentum or just make a play and just hit them with the High Jump Kick or the Pyro Ball or just whatever. Get a bunch of damage off. Just abuse the fast momentum. That's what Cinderace's job is pretty much here, just be like sort of disruptive damage. Tyranitar, I think, can beat kind of the whole team, honestly. Scrafty is their only real answer, and it also gets destroyed by Superpower if I do it right. Weakness Policy is very good because they have a lot of ones that like using U-turn. Crobat, Galarian Articuno, Archeops to an extent too. So I think triggering the Weakness Policy is not like a far-flung idea at all. And I'm running Dragon Dance. I opted for Rock Polish. I considered Rock Polish, but I figured because of Intimidate Scrafty, it would be harder to not get just chipped down with Intimidates and stuff like that. So I decided to do Dragon Dance so that I can just keep my attack consistent. And Stone Edge or Crunch, just good dual stab. Stone Edge beats pretty much everything, and then Crunch is just a more reliable option if I can kill something with Crunch. Finally, because I'm scared of Vikavolt, I decided to run Specially Defensive Cryogonal. It takes Vikavolt hits very well. I can stall it out with Recover. Freeze Dry for Ludicolo, Knockoff. Toxic can chip down set up Mons like Cofagrigus, Frostmoth. Also just chips down everything else to an extent, like Scrafty if it isn't Shed Skin or Vikavolt. Knockoff is very useful. If I can knock off something like a Choice Band on a Mamoswine, Choice Specs on a Vikavolt, I can wall it just so much easier with everything. Because like those choice items are like honestly the only thing that I can't like just stave off just consistently. And so if I can get to a point where I can just keep playing it safe and consistently just staving off everything, I'm in a position where there isn't a lot of room for me to lose. So that's the team I'm bringing. I'm bringing Celesteela, Comfey, Raikou, Cinderace, Tyranitar, and finally Cryogonal, and that's squad. So let's get into the match. Okay, so here's the match. See the squad I brought. And they brought Scrafty, Mamoswine, Archeops, Vikavolt, Cofagrigus, and Crobat. So, good thing to note, no Frostmoth, no Clayster, and no Ludicolo. Also, all very good. So, because I see the Vikavolt, I have to leave Cinderace, I think. Otherwise, I'd probably leave Celesteela just so I can start chipping things down with Leech Seed, hitting it with Flash Cannon stuff. But, so because I'm scared of a Vikavolt lead, I'm going to lead into my Cinderace. And as it turns out, they lead Scrafty. No Intimidate is good. Helps my Tyranitar easier. I just decided to U-turn for Chip. Maybe they'll switch out. And go into Comfey, which is my pretty much dedicated Scrafty answer. I don't mind missing my leftovers too much. I can just threaten Draining Kiss. I just want to basically just gauge the responses right now, see if they want to stay in. But they do decide to go Crobat. Similar reasons, I just go Celesteela, try to see like what they want to do. They go for Toxic and then reveal U-turn afterwards, and that's fine. I go into Vikavolt. I decide to Flamethrower the Vikavolt just on the off chance it comes in, and it does about 75% with a crit. Just from that damage, I can tell it's pretty bulky, probably max HP. Maybe like not specially defensive, but still bulky nonetheless. But I don't know how much speed they're running right now. So I do switch out into my Vikavolt answer, which is the Cryogonal, just to see how much speed they're running. They do go for Volt Switch, and that does a bunch of damage. So from here, I can kind of infer that they're probably max special attack as well, so they might not be running any speed at all. They do decide to just Volt Switch it into the Archeops, and I have to go back into Celesteela as it's just my answer to Archeops at this current moment. They go for Stone Edge, which is a bunch of damage, and I have to basically just start recovering that damage off. But they do decide to go for U-turn, probably because they're fearing a Heavy Slam or a Flash Cannon. But that's okay, because I can just start Leech Seeding, I can go for Protect, and I can start just recovering all the HP that I lost from the Dark-Yups back, so I can just take the next hit and then the next one after that too. I can see Protect Scouting, they go for Will-O-Wisp, because I prefer not to get my leftovers damage negated, I prefer not to get Wisped. I go into Cinderace, fairly confident they'll Will-O-Wisp again, they do, and I just get more Leech Seed chip. I could Pyro Ball here, I could U-turn here. I opt to U-turn just for momentum. I could go back into Tyranitar maybe if they stay in, I don't know. But I just decide to U-turn. I go into Celesteela as they go Crobat, because there's basically nothing they can do. There's like no room for them to be like Nasty Plot, Heat Wave, as they say. They reveal acrobatics. Yeah, they're physical, they're not special. I mentioned Leech Seed, that's fine. I can just go for Leech Seed again. There's not really much this Crobat's doing. They go for U-turn into Vikavolt. I missed Leech Seed at this time. Leech Seed misses. It's pretty unfortunate. At this point, I make a bit of a misplay. So what I do is I Protect, and that's fine. I go for Thunderbolt. You know, good to recover HP. I think that plays fine. And then I switch out to Cryogonal. At this point, I should have been able to tell that they were not running speed on Vikavolt, and so I could have just outsped it and KO'd with Flamethrower and gotten a free Beast Boost. But ultimately, this play is still fine. I can still stall out this thing fairly confidently, even if they roost here, which, you know, is pretty bad for me. I can get a Toxic off. I can just start walling things. You know, it's overall not terrible. They're attacking my Cryogonal, just letting me recover the HP that I'm losing, as long as I don't get paralyzed. And even if I do, honestly, like, as long as I don't get really unlucky, I should be pretty fine. I decide to Freeze Strike here, and they make a smart play. They go for Volt Switch, so my Cryogonal can't really stay in. A bit of a misplay on my part, but that's okay. No Crobat. I can just go into Celesteela. I don't know, maybe Raikou would have been better, but they just go for Acrobatics instead of U-turn, which is fine. Either way, I think I was still pretty okay. Yeah, they go into Mamoswine. I just Flamethrower on the off chance they go Vikavolt. And here I just decide Flash Cannon. It's probably the best thing. I don't really want to switch out. I just want to see what this Mamoswine wants to do. See if I can Leech Seed it first, you know, start recovering my HP back. Maybe. But yeah, I Flash Cannon here. That's, you know, bulky Mamoswine, maybe even Assault Vest. It's not doing a lot. It did 28, which is not bad for me at all. Just means I can wall this Mamoswine like pretty much endlessly as long as I don't get flinched. As you can see, I don't get flinched. I land the Leech Seed. It's pretty easy for me to hit the Leech Seed. Vikavolt comes out, I Protect. But this is also just another reason why Protect is good, just for the Toxic chip. Here they take 6. See, I can Protect now, and then they have to take even more damage on their Vikavolt. Just, I don't know, maybe they could have roosted. Still fine because they have to stay in. Here I decide to stack Cryogonal rather than just Flamethrowing, but either way, the Vikavolt dies now, and that's pretty good. So now that the Vikavolt's gone, there's basically nothing that can wall Celesteela, like, on the entire team. Mamoswine can't do enough damage. Like, even Archeops, it's just going to die to Flash Cannon. And then it all just depends on, like, the Scrafty and Koffing sets, but they don't seem like they're enough to maybe to take out the Celesteela. So at this point, I can just go the Archeops with Flash Cannon. The Stone Edge bitch is pretty unfortunate, but it's good for me. And now I'm just sitting at +1 defense. There's really not a lot they can do. I was expecting Will-O-Wisp, but they go for Nasty Plot, so maybe they can set up and try to sweep through the thing. But as long as they're not like, as long as they don't let them set up Trick Room, you know, it's pretty good. I go into Comfey, Nasty Plot. I'm fairly certain that they're going to Hex me. Maybe Taunt was the correct play, just so they can set up Trick Room. But either way, as it turns out, they do go for Hex, and so now I can just KO them with Crunch, threaten that. And if they go Scrappy, that's fine. I can just go back into Comfey and then you know, I'm in the winning spot here because they can't break through me. I just have to chip them down. I'm taking Leech Seed damage. As it turns out, they do let go of their Golfgrigus and send out Scrafty on speed, so I have to go back into Comfy, but that's fine. They miss High Jump Kick, which is a bit unfortunate. I don't think it mattered in the grand scheme of things. I guess it just kind of sped things up a little bit. At this point, they just let go of the Scrafty, probably because they just missed and didn't think it was worth keeping. So I just get to KO them with Draining Kiss, send out Mamoswine instead of Crobat, so now Comfy can get another kill, just with Giga Drain instead. So Giga Drain, just due to my bulk and their not being like Life Orb or Twice Banned, I can just live the Earthquake and then KO them with Draining Kiss. And then finally, Crobat's the only Pokemon left. And I'm going to speed it up a little bit. Yeah. I decided to go Style Steela, get the kill there, just so that I can get another kill. Also got a kill against the Archeops. I just basically was phenomenal this entire game. I was able to wall their entire team. Shut down just everything, the Mamoswine, the Archeops, Golfgrigus. It basically did everything that it was supposed to do this entire match. Cryogonal also did fantastically walling the Vikavolt, Tyranitar, good offensive presence, along with Comfy. Basically, just, yeah, I think everything went very well. I made some good plays. Now I'm 1-2, and hopefully next week I can get another one as well. I don't know. I don't have much else to say, so see you all next time. Bye.